like your face down. White boy, nice with a pen. This ain't no 8 Mile. We playing hot shots in the spots where the body's traced out. Cause when you go on tour,
hold on. Oh, we're already past the first 10 minutes. Shit.
Family Day activities. And speaking of Family Day activities, it's a holiday today, and that means it's anything but a normal day. Among the changes, the TTC is operating on a holiday service schedule, while Go Transit is operating on a Saturday service schedule. Most of the city's tourist attractions are open, including the AGO, ROM, and CN Tower.
As well as Craig Gardens, Queen and Sherburne, Jane and Fan, Freedom Park, all that's all open too.
Open for business, including Bromley City Center, Pacific Mall, and the Eden Center. Banks and government offices
Bromley.
are closed.
Bromley. Bromley. I don't know.
You can go to 680news.com. Coming up, traffic and weather together on the one. 680 News time, 12:09.
680 News, Toronto.
Well, I was hoping to find out quickly, since we already missed the top of the hour, I was hoping to find out about these fucking blockades, because I'm watching auto haulers in fucking Kansas City fucking locals rolling by. Yo, you think you local based out of Kansas? I got Kansas City niggas. You're gonna find, well, Kansas, and then there's Kansas, but that's another story altogether. What made you think you could roll them fucking auto haulers past me? They better fucking be empty, because if they're not, we're gonna empty them, dog. You know what's on there? You know what's on there? Suburbans and Tahoes and their excursions or whatever the fuck they're building between Detroit and Oshawa and Brampton and shit. Oh yeah, you know what's securing them to the fucking train? A plastic zip tie on the outside of the car. All the keys are on the sun visors. The doors are unlocked. You fucking pussy holes. Yo, I gotta get this spliff in me, then we'll talk seriousness.
some music, and baby, when we go on tour,
It's all shootings.
Drive-bys, your eyes wide shut, we gone Kubrick. See, we ain't really got all that
We gone
talk, we
Kubrick?
just do
We're shooting. Get it? You don't get it?
I don't knock, I don't pick locks. I kick doors down and let go shots. Call me hot shot, real life nightmare. And the S, I make niggas cry gangster tears.
Crying gangster tears, only if you can feel my
like
pain.
Freddy, I'll kill you with
Crying gangster tears, I'm gonna fucking show you.
We gon' find where the girl's at. She's in the strip on the floor like the doormat. Break your breath up from the sky, cause you know you whack. Bulldogs, let's leave you thinking of a rap. This ain't fiction, we thinking of a rap. 1 crip, 2 crips, 3 crips, 4. Bulldog nigga, 6 bloods on the floor. 1 crips, 2 crips, 3 crips, 4. Bulldog nigga, 6 bloods on the floor.
So you gotta be confused when we come on through. What you gonna choose? Shoot at the Reds or the fucking Blues? What about the black flags and the white guys? They not fags. They're flying white flags, but they not giving up. They're pulling up the stolen trucks, letting the bus with a fucking World Cup.
Coming in too, no matter what, better win or better go. Yeah, speaking on the lock for the door, that's a show, cause we know what you got on the stove, on the table, and your money's in the box. So I'm picking on the lock, coming through the door, blasting, no moves, nothing for asking. One bad move, and you get your ass kicked. Yo, I'm not in the mood, so the peace gas. See the eyes of a wolf, and I hope you see it. Cold those around, so your ass is frozen. Woof, motherfucker, now you about to get defeated.
Wow, 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 look at you,
to give no options.
Murder was the case that they lost.
Good dream or a bad situation, more like a nightmare. You are the victim.
Scope on the Glock, we be bringing back the Holocaust. Posted on the block and a bunch of appreciation. Oh, that didn't last that long. Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah, we rip.
Yeah. I'm gonna let my truck bang. Let the trunk bang like I bust hangs. Let my nuts hang while I'm hustling. Ain't in the dope game, but I rap slang. Addicted like cocaine when I drop flames. Let the trunk bang.
Okay, I'm gonna break some things down for you. Let my nuts hang while I'm hustling. I'm gonna put it to you like this. I don't give a fuck what police officer, snitch, community, neighborhood watch person sees me making a chop. By the time the cops show up to do anything, if they could, assuming this was normal like the United States in the 90s or something, by the time they showed up, the money's gone, the drugs are gone, the custody's gone, and I would be gone, but if I'm the one getting caught, I guess I'm not gone, right? But, I know I got backup. I know niggas got my back. Who's got my back? Hold on. This is backwards. This is so fucking backwards. You're not going to believe this shit. Oh, you a Crip and you got Bloods back. And well, it's not. No, this is fucking crazy than that. Who tells the fucking Ontario tobacco agents that they can't come near us because we are too goddamn violent? Who tells the Toronto police to stay a certain radius away? I don't know what the radius is. I'm assuming it's 2 blocks or some shit. It don't really matter the exact amount. Who tells them to stay that radius away? I mean, if the cops see me do something, they're gonna roll up and do something. They can drive down the street where I am. So it's not like it's not like a fucking bubble. They can't simply enter at all. But they're not supposed to be sitting on my corner watching me and my niggas. They're not supposed to be fucking trying to build a case. If I give them a reason to build a case, that's my fault. But they can't just choose from their intelligence and say, we're gonna go after Richie today. We're gonna listen to his phone calls and do this and that. Who the fuck? The official Canadian paramilitary forces. We're too goddamn violent. As long as we don't shoot up the fucking place, they will not prosecute drug crimes. Really. Drug trafficking. Not just drug crimes. Drug trafficking. This is in the fucking news a couple years ago. What up? Hello. So it's not that the police have my back or even the paramilitary ICMP. But I don't give a fuck what the police see because they can't interfere with that fucking hierarchy and all that shit. So, yeah, let my nuts hang while I'm hustling and let the trunk bang like I bust things. That's that white boy saying that. We do bust things, you know. We make that noise is what we're saying. We hear loud noises in the night. We don't fucking give a fuck. Hello again, hello. You want to chat or can I turn the music back on? I got to finish rolling this joint. I got so many fucking crazy things on my mind, but if I was to spit them all out, you'd tell me to shut up. You would. You'd be right to as well.
Like I bust hangs, let my nuts hang while I'm hustling. Ain't in the dope game, but I rap slang. Addicted like cocaine when I rock flames. Then it keep me from homemade. Got balls on me like my phone got paid. Drinking and driving, swerving all different ways. My mind stays stuck in the same ass maze.
People can't live without the earth, man. If not, they be drinking and driving and swerving.
I want you to feel the shit more than these hi-hats. When it kills the shit, I don't want to hear my rhymes whack. I don't beat around the bush, I beat around the block. I ain't needing no push, sucking on the cock. All I needed was a push to make it to the top. High off that cushion at the bottom of the pot. Dreams are far-fetched, but I'ma go catch it. You ain't seen bars yet, this is just a message. I'm bringing out hard shit, the blows like a weapon. Packing some more snake in case I put the trunk bang like I bust hangs. Let my nuts hang while I'm hustling. Ain't in the dope game, but I rap slang. Addicted like cocaine when I drop flames. Let the trunk bang like I bust hangs. Let my nuts hang while I'm hustling. Ain't in the dope game, but I rap slang. Addicted like cocaine when I drop flames. In my rolling place. These words are shots that you take with no chase. Life without me is like a song without bass. Done killed the beat, now I caught a murder case. Switch up my motor just of my personality. Got my mind on the dream to become a reality. Mortal Kombat turning rappers to fatalities. You can tell me shit unless it's coming with a salary. And it's to be having no worker. Started paying attention to the rich observers. Rejected truth, serving what rely on murder. Thought I couldn't toss around and took a step further. I'd rather be respected and have everyone in fear. I have the dopest vision, I can see it real clear. clear. You can call my shit Mr. Me right here. So ahead of my time, I'm past like years. Let the drum bang like I bust things. Let my nuts hang while I'm hustling. Ain't in the dope game, but I rap slang. Addicted like cocaine when I drop flames. Let the trunk bang like I bust things. Let my nuts hang while I'm hustling. Ain't in the dope game.
How's my night going? Pretty good, actually, all things considered. Check this shit out. Somebody just stole a goddamn cat off somebody. Of all the fucking things to see, you thinking, oh, stealing somebody's coke or their money or their car or something. No, they stole a fucking cat. Of all the fucking things to steal from somebody, you know, not my cat, one of my friend's cats just got stolen right in front of me. And this is why I don't open doors for people I don't know. This person was banging on the glass, which I fucking hate because I've been on the psych ward and in segregation, solitary they used to call it. What do the COs do? They smash on the fucking glass. No, I don't like it. And I didn't see her with a cat carrier when she came in. I saw her when she left, and she gave me the dirtiest look, and I was like, oh, this is something. I don't know what the fuck just happened. This is why I don't, the fuck? I'm getting notifications here, just popping and popping and popping. Apparently, I can reach 2,567 people. Apparently, I can reach 2,567 people for, I don't know, $20 or something.
Like cocaine when I drop flames. Perfect.
Yeah, so how else is my night fucking going?
Yeah, we rep for the street niggas, man. The voice of the street.
Don't worry, I'm gonna put the music back on in a second, but my night is going pretty good. And in case you didn't know, someone with a crazy pain condition probably doesn't keep a normal 9-to-5 schedule day and night. I don't know if you noticed, all my fucking videos start around here local time is midnight approximately, 11-12 o'clock, because it's the goddamn winter time. So I can't go out on the corner and go hang out and meet somebody, smoke a joint. I could go out there and do it, but I'll be out there 5 minutes coming back in. And who's going to be out there with me? Nobody. Even the cops have seen me and be like, what the fuck are you doing out here? Get the fuck out of here. You're going to make me get out the car and fucking search your ass? Go home. No, it's fucking... I got all sorts of crazy shit on my head. You know what, though? I'm going to fucking put music back on simply because I'm going to start talking stupidness till I get this joint in me. Once I get the joint in me, I'll either make more sense or at the very least, I'll sound more like a pothead and it'll be easier to ignore. It's 12:20 out here in Coburg. Yeah, you're in Ontario, eh? Yeah, we're in the same time zone. We're in, this is daylight. Is this daylight or standard time? EST -5. We're in -5. I know that much. And Doug Ford, I actually agree with this, wants to put us on -4 all year round. Daylight savings time, the summertime time, year round. I agree with that.
Moulette yo gazelle, concours ange, yo dessiné pour le monde, quoi. Le conservé par le fait.
When bullets fly by, when bullets fly by, what you gonna do when them bullets fly by? When bullets fly by, when bullets fly by, what you gonna do when them bullets fly by? What you gonna do when
the whole reason I'm not blocking train tracks right now is because of how fucking cold it is. Once they get the Mohawks off the track, then I'll take my turn. Right now, I'm gonna wait till it warms up. You think I'm joking? I'm not.
Pop when you hear the clock. Tough down, nigga, cause I'm in your spot. Give it up.
You think you a local pilot? I'm a local pilot, motherfucker. You a local operator? I am a local operator, nigga.
My 9mm gonna make you drop.
I'm talking to you, Mr. Kansas Locomotive. Get that shit off the tracks, nigga. The ones we're gonna damage is the out-of-towners shit. Get it the fuck out of here.
This shit ain't easy. I'm a nigga.
I don't care who you pay trackage rights to or who's piloting the shit with the computer hookup. Get it the fuck out of here.
What you gonna do when them bullets fly by? When bullets fly by? When bullets fly by? What you gonna do when them bullets fly by? What you gonna do when them bullets fly by?
Why would I do it that way? Why would I not damage CN's shit instead when they're the ones responsible? How the fuck is the Kansas City people gonna come up here to file a charge, bro? come fight the case. How many miles you away?
Rough like a goose or snitch to the cops. Me, I cock back, let it go for the power. Bullets fly by like a breeze in the summer. Cold dog set, FDLCTE, RIP, and KSP, HOTSHOT. IGSME, yeah, it's me. I let my bullets fly by, shooting at you niggas like kites in the sky. Blue beams, I'm killing this rap shit. So what you gonna do when my bullets fly by? When bullets fly by, when bullets fly.
23 minutes after the hour, right? 23:23, 027 Glock 17, right? February 17th. I'm gonna tell you something. If I wanted to hit you from fucking inside an apartment or a condo, nigga, you think that fucking I can't see your ass, man? I've got all the sight lines, dog. Not from this window. Not from this window. And the police know that for a fact. So you ain't never gonna get nothing to come in here over that. Trust me, dog. Superintendents get tossed off high rises out here, eh? You think we can't hit your fucking stupid little train? Nigga, next time you're rolling out the yard going east, look to your right. Whose fucking name is on the fucking brick wall over there? Nigga, it's me and I didn't put it there. That's my land, dog. That's them telling me that's my space to do what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna do it.
What you gonna do when them bullets fly by? When bullets fly by, when bullets fly by. What you gonna do when them
Don't worry, I'm gonna
bullets
calm
fly
down in a minute.
by?
I'm gonna calm down.
What you gonna do when them bullets fly by? What you gonna do when them bullets fly by? What you gonna do when them bullets fly by? What you gonna do when them bullets fly by?
Yo, clique caca. Come campane caca, yo.
Everyday niggas talking shit like they tough in this motherfucking street, but they not, nigga. When the bullets fly by, the niggas stuck like bitches. It's your boy, you know, HOTSHOT. Cold Dog, Revolution in Process Records. Can't see the Zone Records. Fuck you niggas. When bullets fly by, when bullets fly by. What you gonna do when them bullets fly by? When bullets fly by, when bullets fly
Road
by.
gang.
What you gonna do when them bullets
Like
fly
ROTE,
by? What you gonna do when them
not
bullets fly
off the top of my, I
What you
could,
gonna
no,
do
let's just say
when them
no.
bullets fly by? What you gonna do when them bullets fly by? What you gonna do when them bullets fly by?
Do I know road gang? There's a lot of no, I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Transit options. Watertown is only 10 minutes from.
Let's hear how
Phase 3 opens this spring.
this is the weekend, right? There's no stock markets.
This stunning collection of semis and singles in the heart of
I just know
Watertown.
either coronavirus, Kobe, or fucking the Mohawks are going to be on here. What's the
680
weekend?
News time, 12:26. Now time for 680 News Weekend Business Report.
I'm Carl Garnish. Canadians continue to battle with distractions at work. According to a new national survey commissioned by Canadian shared office provider IQ
Are
Offices,
you watching us
close
right
to
now at work?
60% of employees
You're not
claim
supposed to be.
they clock in up to
Unless
2
you're a police
hours of
officer.
lost productivity every day. From the findings, Kane Wilmot, CEO and co-founder of IQ Offices, says 4 main productivity drains seem to be affecting the workplace.
Sure.
First one was loud talkers, so that are in the space that become distracting. The second one was trendy office styles in terms of like open concepts and these recreation areas like ping pong tables and shuffleboards.
Shit,
The
that
third
wasn't
was
supposed to happen.
nomads, unassigned workspaces, essentially where you don't have an assigned workspace to go
What
to
the
every
fuck
single
just
day.
happened?
And then the last thing was time-wasting meetings.
The survey also found that roughly 2/3 of Canadians would apparently choose less money to work in a programmable.
If you create spaces that are designed in such a way that you want to go there every
I'm not
single
going to
day,
touch anything, so
that
keep fucking
you
it up.
want to create your best work within that space, and that becomes inspiring, and that becomes a space that you want to spend time in every day.
Losing up to
lied.
2
I
hours
lied.
of productivity
I'm gonna try
from
once
employees every day can really affect a company's bottom line. Wilmot says there are a number of ways employers can innovate and transform their workplaces to ensure everyone has what they need to be productive without losing any talent.
Focus on noise reduction so that you don't have those distractions in the space. Focus on wellness features for multiple work environments. Give a dedicated desk so someone has their space, but also give them other environments to work in. Bring
my
nature in
space.
from the outside, like plants and green balls and natural light and fresh air are a huge boost. Those are the things that employers can do to really, I believe, attract, retain, and engage the best talent.
Kane Wilmot
I got a
is the
spot
CEO
for you
and co-founder
in a
of
park
IQ
against a
Offices.
tree. There's a water
And at the
fountain, there's some
center,
birds,
I'm
there's
Carl Garnish.
a bench.
What's your next adventure? See it, do it, live it.
Just don't be standing there on Facebook all day. Yeah. This is why this minimum wage JOB shit don't go nowhere. They can't compete. All you would have to do to get rid of most crime in general, property crimes and fucking drug dealing and such things, give people some sort of employment. Okay, either employment or money so they don't need employment, one or the other, or some combination of both. But that's not what they do. I'm the drug dealer telling you what I needed, and you never gave it to me. I've fucking applied to so many places to work. I've fucking worked to jobs. Don't get me wrong, I've worked, but they don't want to keep me there. Ain't because I did something wrong. They can get fucking. They like to get. So the timing's really bad for me. I was always going, and there's a whole shitload of guys 40 and 50 that are like very willing to work for these low wages. I know for a fact they used to get twice as much in the 80s. So I don't know what happened to their lives, but they're desperately seeking money for crack and booze and pills and shit. They never saved up and all this shit. That's what I got to compete against. And because the employers knew that, what experience you got? I'm fucking 17, bro. How much experience do you think I got? How much experience you got? Oh, I spent 20 years at, I don't know, I'm making it up, Sears or whatever. Fucking, there's no competing. Are you going to tell me what rope gang is, or do I got to guess? You want me to Google it? I know Zero Gang, and fuck, there's so many gangs. All right, we're gonna give them the next 4. Oh, you know what? It'll be traffic and shit. Hold on.
And I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. Here's what's making news this hour. A shooting near the Promenade Mall in Thornhill has sent 2 people to hospital with serious injuries and has police searching for a suspect. A 14-year-old boy is dead after a snowmobile crash west of Algonquin Park. Recovery efforts will resume today for the body of a 9-year-old boy who fell through the ice on Lake Erie on Saturday. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has canceled his trip to the Caribbean to deal with pipeline protests.
An entertaining NBA All-Star game wrapping up in the Windy City in Chicago. It came down to a free throw while the Maple Leafs unravel in the 3rd period in Buffalo. Sports at 45. And coming up in business, a spotlight on small business. We'll hear from an expert on why developing a business plan could be a difference maker when looking to turn an idea into a successful startup.
680 News Time, 12:31. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger.
This report brought to you by iasecurities.ca. Well, we've still got a very quiet drive. We had one issue on the northbound DVP just north of Eglinton. Stalled vehicle was in the right lane. We had a police car on scene there as well. That is cleared, so no issues there. Northbound.
You know what? I guess we're going to have to wait 30 minutes to find out about Mr. Trudeau. Ah, shit. Where'd my music go? See, the fucking thing goes off the screen if I leave it too long on pause. Fuck, watch this game. All fucked up again. 23.
Sit you little bitch ass down, man.
A shooting in Thornhill beat out the Prime Minister canceling his vacation.
For my little brother, it's like he loves my partners. Real party boys, my baby, y'all watching. But this empire is nothing like Russia. These are enemy lines, nobody can cross it. Hundreds in a battle with triple tits. 4 clips like a bitch's wig fiction. Murder gang sick shit. Got me reading the words of my victim lipsticks. Kitchen same murders. Niggas know I'm running through the streets of beef like the hamburger with the burner. No food serving. Yeah, still M3G reppin' murder. Sitting in the vehicle, plotting on people. Taking your prized possession like a reaper. Kneeling with the hammer. Call it Tim Tebow. Holding on the hammer. Call it Home Depot. Everything I'm doing is illegal. Everything I'm doing is illegal. Kneeling with the hammer. Call it Tim Tebow. Holding on the hammer. Call it Home Depot. I'm at the bar ordering a Heineken. again. Waiting for the fiend to fall back. I was timing him. Friending him a double set up, check me around 9 and 10. MGK wild boy, nigga, we some wild men. Brought together life again. Rifles like the Irishman. Used to come and bench, but Charlie was a rider man. Niggas try to end me for the money, call a fireman to put my fucking flame up. Go ahead and try to hit it. By all means, do you. I'm creeping through the field, shot the Zulu. Cruising in the Subaru. Murder gang, crow punch dogs and get for bobos. You lose. Tell you what kind of like 2 shoes. Listen, Junior and C's to the highest shooters to whack you. Right now, I'd rather snap you. Don't even attempt, I won't tap you. Really, I don't have to. Slap the kid so hard, I point a wonder, call him Matthew. Subliminal. Murder gang squad in effect. I set it up to win no box. You got to follow my dialect. My number, you ain't dial yet. That judge ain't fire yet. By the end of this track, a motherfucker buying it. That bitch knows hinges and a couple sweaty fries in it. Catch a couple pieces, but I'll beat him if I'm hiding it. In the L spot, nigga, known for the kill shot. Cause I'm the nigga that shot Jack and chill out the hilltop. Too. Lil Red Rider Hood was Rider Hood. The song blew her up now. She ain't riding through the hood at all. And Woody Woodpecker was a fag while Batman got chest and panties up for his pants. Spidey was a swinger. Wolverine is a nigga that's obvious, so they ain't gotta mention Master Splinter. More like Master Shredder in my mouth, my dead bro blast for cheddar. Trying to look at is better. Yeah, I'm sitting in the vehicle, plotting on people. Taking your proud possession like a reaper. Kneeling with the hammer, call it Tim Tebow. Pulling on the hammer, call it Home Depot. Everything I'm doing is illegal. Everything I'm doing is illegal. Kneeling with the hammer, call it Tim Tebow. Pulling on the hammer, call it Home Depot.
That call, PM, has been facing harsh criticism in the wake of anti-pipeline protests that have disrupted rail service. He'd been accused of running around Africa and Europe as protesters opposed to the coastal.
You better get all your fucking equipment out of Canada. I swear to God, because if you don't get it now, you ain't getting it. We'll sell it all for fucking scrap. I swear to God.
And other parts of the country. Meantime, protesters opposed to a pipeline project in northern BC continued to halt train service in parts of the country. Indigenous Services Minister Mark Miller says he believes that a peaceful resolution can be reached. Miller, appearing on CTV's Question Period, points to OKA and Ipperwash as reasons.
Oh God, you ignorant whore! The biggest fucking news story to come out of Canada in 30 years.
The reserve south of Montreal blocked the Messier Bridge. 5 years later, at Ipperwash, Ontario, a man was killed during a standoff over a land claimed by Chippewa protesters outside a provincial park.
So the way we do things,
anti-pipeline blockades along
we're going to kill all the people that fucking have something to do with that.
Two national organizations
we can't find them, we'll get the friends and family. People are going to point to it,
the
to
Retail
where you
Council
are.
of Canada and the Canadian Propane Association are predicting a shortage of goods throughout the country as a direct result of the closures.
Sell it for double or triple like we do, stupid.
Association says they're already
get gangster with us. You're the Teamsters. Get with it, stupid. Why didn't you rob all those trains already? Sell it to your friends. Are you fucking stupid? You're gonna tell you promote the gangster lifestyle yourselves. You watch it on TV all the time.
Ottawa has chartered a plane to bring home many of the 255 Canadians on the Diamond Princess. The timing of the flight has yet to be announced. So far, 355 people have been infected with COVID-19, including 15 from Canada. Passengers will be screened before boarding, and those with symptoms will be transferred to the Japanese healthcare system. Those who make it onto the aircraft will be assessed by CFB Trenton, Ontario, before they're taken to a NAV Canada Training Institute in Cornwall, Ontario, for another 14-day quarantine.
Training Institute? What are you talking about?
And speaking of the evacuation, there's finally some relief for a BC father after his son was quarantined on the cruise ship near Japan for several days. 680 News' Tarnji Parmar reports passengers on the ship have been removed, with some awaiting quarantine in the U.S. Scott Fehrenbacher says his son Spencer has finally been allowed to walk off the Diamond Princess cruise ship following an outbreak of COVID-19 on board. Fehrenbacher says his son has had to pass a temperature screening and will fly to the U.S. to complete the next phase of quarantine. In an online post, he says Spencer was escorted off the ship early this morning and was taken to the airport by the military. He calls the experience overwhelming, adding he's grateful and thankful that his son is okay. Canadians on the same ship will also be evacuated and flown home for more quarantine time, but we're still waiting for more details on that flight. I'm Tarnji Parmar. 6 City News Time, 12:38. Today is Family Day, and if you're planning on spending the day outside, bundle up. It should be a nice sunny day, but temperatures will be a little lower than average for this day of the year. 6 Cities weather specialist Molly Shake has more on what to expect.
Two shootings. What the hell?
Family Day Monday should be a nice day to spend outside. A daytime high of -3, so a couple of degrees cooler than it should be for this time of year. However, we will have mainly sunny conditions and won't really be dealing with much wind chill. So,
so it'll be
enjoy
bright
being outdoors. Just make
hard
sure
to
you're
see
dressed for it.
and cold and windy at the
Don't
same
let that
time.
weather deter you from making
Welcome
the most of the
to
day
fucking
with your
Canada, right?
families. Still to come on 680 News, we'll have traffic and weather together on the one. So first, we'll take a look at the price at the pumps.
By the way,
680
don't
News
say that
time,
to me. I'll knock you the
12:39.
fuck out. Somebody did that.
Mercedes-Benz
Holy
Oakville brings you a Snow Days pop-up event to introduce the...
Oh, I must have been smoking good that day to not fucking. What the fuck happened that day? But I didn't do something to that person. Hold on. I almost forgot that happened. Don't tell me welcome to fucking Canada. I'll take it very personal. Don't tell me that. And then we had sports, right? All right. Are you gonna tell me what this rope gang thing is? I did that wrong. What the fuck?
Get your ass up out the floor, nigga. Get the fuck out. Hurt yourself, nigga. Hurt yourself. Fuck school up on the streets. Don't need a GED, SL crack. What the working class sleeps. Live my life on the beat. No matter what, I'ma eat. If I'm a bum for a plate, might as well make it a feast. I go hard till I'm in that box. A little baking soda mixed with cocaine. Now we cooking rocks. Can't see too many jocks. I know they surveillance me. Fuck them, let them watch. Satan's calling and we all on the clock.
I'm reaching out to you, you ignore me.
Every night is the same.
I'm reaching out to you, you ignore me.
You can call it greed, I call it get mine.
You better get all that American equipment off the Canadian tracks, man. I swear to fucking God.
Man, put him to sleep like rock a bye-bye, baby. With a sun come up.
We're renting all the diesel and all the everything out of the fuel tank, not the fucking tank. That's all that little bit. Fuck that. We're not touching that. That's stupid. We're gonna steal all the fuel out that tank. You're gonna tow that local home.
Nothing good here, all around was playing. Yeah, boy, done lost this way. Fucking with your mind, so what you ready to say?
How many liters of diesel fuels in a locomotive? God, Frederick.
Nothing good here, all around was playing. Yeah, boy.
I was raised up west side, money motivated mind. Teens standing corners, how would these be on the block and grind? Do this all the time, every day, you know I gotta ride. Money be a girl, say goodbye, cause now the bitch is mine. It's just another day, another crime, we live in the devil's way like renegade. Watch your Tuesday grades, these are the end of days. Get on your knees and pray like you're about to meet the Lord today. Slowly starting to fade, lost, slipping into an unconscious state. You don't want that faith, living life in the hood, and spoil the soldiers on your folder. The paper I use for my kush, time to roll up.
These people all roll through my hood sooner or later. Somewhere in this city, I will see them. Everybody thinks they're a big mouthpiece over the fucking telephone, over the internet, or whatever. Yeah. You know how many planes get diverted to Pearson? What do you mean I have to leave the airport and go to a hotel for a night?
Fucking with your mind, so what you ready to say? Yeah, boy, done lost this way. Nothing good here, all the time is playing. Yeah, boy.
What that mean for some niggas like me? You know, around the whole family tree. Yeah, I'm still in a mood. I'm gonna smoke this one and see if it improves at all. I'm reaching out. Nobody wants to fucking. If my family had got to stay up on the res, I won't be here now. This is your fault. It's your fault. I'm an internally displaced person, and I know it.
Listen, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Murder in the first degree, homicide in my crib, harassment. She just jammed a needle in her arm that she can't speak. It's a cold world that we live in, take it from me. Yeah, in the end, everything I see and have seen is but a dream within a dream. Long days, cold nights, serving fees. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This the life that we live, this the life that we live, this the life that we live, motherfucker. This that new shit, that gang life revolution. You don't wanna fuck with this, I got homie on standby, ready to let it rip. I suggest you close your lips, stop bumping your guns. Before you hurt someone you love, no remorse for my gun, no regrets for these clips. Cross me and I'll send you about shit. Got an M16, copied up the black market shit. Big guns, big clips, you don't want any part of this. I'm on that leave me retarded shit. We get shit, I can't afford.
It really says Royal Highlands on it with a goddamn dragon or lion or something.
Four coons in a stolen whip. Roll through, fuck your whole day up. Fuck your clown, should've paid up. Not a grave digger putting in work. Covering your coffin in dirt. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, he got what he deserved. Just the
call me the coroner. It's a joke. We all know each other.
It's the life that we live, motherfucker. It's the life that we live. It's the life that we live. It's the life that we live, motherfucker. It's the life that we live. It's the life that we live. It's the life that we live, motherfucker. It's the life that we live. It's the life that we live. It's the life that we live, motherfucker. There ain't no peace, all I see is violence in the streets. Junkies in the alleyway, homie broke his by any means. Random robberies just to feed. Of course, you have some action, what it's like to be me. It's just the nature of the beast. No warning, we just sink our teeth. We rip the competition apart. Once the gun goes off, pick it start. He played until he passed on. I grown man cry like a hoe. What a sad song. All my soldiers put your flags on. We gon' bang to this song. I keep the strap like an ace in the hat. Yeah, I'd rather get caught with the thing with all where I'm at. Got no time for rats. Tell Brooke and they can kiss her ass. We don't talk to police, got no respect for the bad.
How do you commit suicide in a Supermax, whatever the official name, we call it Supermax, suicide? Well, how the fuck do you do that? I don't think that's true. Someone tells me that story's not true. No, it's just how funny.
The nature of the beast, the nature of the beast, the nature of the beast. You can't play, you can't play. The nature of the beast, the nature of the beast, yeah, the nature of the beast. I'm jumping on deck with my hand on my check. Disrespect the mob and get your face in your lap. You claiming you hardcore, but doing bass in the trap. I'm loading my gun up, where the fuck boys at? It's murder, homie. Don't talk shit, get your brother, homie. Chrome on me, and I'm down for the first degree. First 40 gig, and my cousin on tape. Cutting the cop up with a dirty razor blade. Crazy, but we stay getting paid. Fuck with the boss.
How many millions of dollars did Pulp Fiction make? But we're bad guys. For saying it, that's backwards. I don't like actors. Drake's an actor. He's got a sad cut. He's a child actor. He doesn't like to act since he started rapping. He acts like a rapper now. This is his acting.
Nature of the beast says you can't blame me. Nature of the beast, the nature of the beast said the nature of the beast says you can't blame me. Nature of the beast, the nature of the beast, yeah, the nature of the beast. You ain't gangster, all you do is talk, you still bet up.
gangster. Stuck up in the bed, shooting shit up. Blazer, penetrate small with my place. Duck, base cut. Start to paint the walls when you stay blind. Keeping fucking flags in your chains up. Danger, creeping in the area, you ain't wrong. Touch straight, stay away from the gates. Race up, aim up at your brain, then we spray slots. Raised up, in the gut, the legs where we laced up. Slant drums, ain't no other way, homie, can't go. Bigger parts of the door, but we're past the text. One place, same day, then I can't cross straight. We insane quicks with our brains nuts place. Fucking with that Mary J. Slut. Make what's all about the problem, we back up. Watch, cause we gangsters, ballin', you back up. You can't play me.
Hold on.
You can't play me.
Let's give this a second to think that we're gonna be here for a second, but we won't. No, not good. That's not supposed to happen that way. That's not supposed to work that way. You know how like you have something ready to go for whatever. It could be anything. You could put a pen down next to a piece of paper, walk away, come back with something to write down. The pen will fucking not work. You know, like you set things up and it just is something. Let's see if I can do this.
Free ox, nigga. 75 block, nigga. Yo. Niggas turn religious after low while he forsake them. When he see that shotgun, he hope it don't take him. Watch your soul rise to the sky. Niggas talk a lot of shit till they leave their crib and die. You think my life is a joke? 3 niggas, 6 legs, you get rapidly posted. They don't fuck with G-Lock cause they don't wanna get smoked. I'm from the 7-5 block and yeah, I live by the oath. Think this shit is a game, put the pipe to your frame. I take the face off your head, nigga, simple and plain. Your baby mom fucked the squad without knowing our name. She was down for the train, if you know what I'm saying. Yo, and we get real wild with it. Practice aim all ops. Used to bet who could hit them. And my squad full of dogs, nigga, get them. Fuck an AM, come you try and dead them. Tryna stack wow, that you move with a forklift. Stab the nigga with a pitchfork and broke 4 ribs. And I'm the type to give back to the poor kids. I just do it, and I stay strapped like Air Forces. I'm in the back and on my laps with a 4-6. My bitch greased up and bust hard like a porn flick. You niggas sweet, I should call you niggas cornflakes. I'll ride through your block and start lighting up the whole place. My head's hot, but I still cause a cold case. A couple bodies under my belt, but show no face. This 12 gauge, you leave this nigga with no face. Found in an unknown place, walking off by my own base. Fuck a drive-by, I'll just walk by and scoop some soul, soak his whip up. It's like how much you think his whip can roll, nigga. You know I got jokes too. Keep a knife as well, but it's no joke if I'ma poke you.
I had to hear that. That's all. I had to hear that. We're gonna hear the stupid business repeat. There's no way it's gonna be something interesting. I'm gonna think. I swear, like 3:30 in the morning, they'll have some fucking random business report with interesting shit in it that they won't run in the middle of the day on a Tuesday. But 90% of them are just repeats of what they said Friday at 4 o'clock. But I had to hear that. And then we're going to hear about what Mr. Prime Minister is up to. That should be the top story, but they talked about a bunch of dead kids and shootings and shit before that. There's 2 shootings. They're only talking about 1.
60 seconds, we'll have your weekend business report. 680 News Time, 12:55.
I can't kill 60 seconds.
It's that time of year, auto show season. That means big events, big announcements, and even bigger deals at Nissan. Right now, get the 2019 Nissan Qashqai or Kicks and get up to 3 payments on us, up to $1,000 value. And now, get up to 4 years of regularly scheduled oil changes, also on us. It's kind of a big deal to get a deal this big. Offer ends March 2nd. Visit choosenissan.ca or your Nissan dealer. Conditions apply.
Have you heard about Ozempic? That's right.
No fucking way are you getting that credit on my shit. What the fucking people I've had to deal with in my life. Fuck you. Oh yeah, I know the song. I have to play like an extra 20 minutes of fucking Ice Cube or something to clear that out of my head.
For a business and making it into a success should start with putting everything into a business plan. Your goals, sales expectations, financing, and your target market. Matthew Baker is the Senior Vice President of Corporate Strategy and International Expansion at FreshBooks.
Just walking through what is the business, how is the business going to operate, how am I going to get customers, how am I going to serve them, what am I going to do afterwards, and then some financials that say how does this business work, and you usually will try to take that out for a year or two so that you can have some visibility. There's oftentimes you can go deeper on, what kind of customer am I targeting? Is it a local thing or a global thing?
To help with money matters, Baker says it pays to set up a financial reporting system.
It's essential to just understanding your business because there are a lot of pitfalls that people may face when they become self-employed. One example is, and it's a real one, so self-employed people, their income is lumpy. We're used to with a traditional job, you get paid every 2 weeks, and it's pretty standard. With lumpy income, you go up and down, and so your reporting is important to understand that. Because then you can see some of the trends. Maybe it's seasonal, maybe not. You can also see who's paying you and who's not. A lot of that stuff is hard to see if you don't have one system that gives you that transparency.
And starting your own business can be an emotional roller coaster. Baker says data has shown entrepreneurs deal with both hard and soft barriers.
The hard barriers we thought of is more, I don't know if I have enough money, or I don't know if I have the right training. And those seem to be hard things because, you could sign like a dollar value to them. Whereas on the softer side, a lot of it is psychological. What you can do is try to control what you can, which is have an idea of where you want your business to go, have an idea of how your business is actually performing, and then there's a little less anxiety, I would say, if you have some kind of way of reporting on your business. Otherwise, you're just kind of watching your bank account balance, and that can be really tough, especially if you're mixing business and personal expenses in one account.
Matthew Baker is the Senior Vice President of Corporate Strategy and International Expansion at FreshBooks. With a spotlight on small business, I'm Carl Garnish.
Russell and Nazarene are owners and operators of the Mary Browns of Dixie, Necklington, and Mississauga. As franchisees, they get to own a business with a proven track record of success. Plus, they have the support of an entire team behind them. Come meet entrepreneurs like Russell and Nazarene at the Franchise Canada Show, February 22nd and 23rd at the Intercare Center. And see for yourself how franchising can help you be your own boss. To learn more, visit franchisecanada.show.
Whatever. They usually either try to tell you, look at this person's car and jewelry and house are, or they try and give you real numbers of they won't give you all the numbers, or somehow it's the sales are like this, or the income is they won't fucking give you all of it. They didn't even try. These people are running their own business, okay, and how are they doing? Are they fucking still going to the food bank? Because I fucking sometimes might have to. I don't want to fucking give you a whole bunch of money I've borrowed and still be in the same position. At least now I have nothing to, it's balanced. It's nice. It's nice. I don't have people fighting over an inheritance. Just think of having a whole bunch of money, realizing people are fucking waiting for you to die and fighting over what they're going to get from you. And that will lead you to spend some money on drugs and hookers and shit. Fuck. Again, 60 seconds.
-1, feeling more like -4. The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. 680 News time. 1 o'clock.
So I set up the business reports. They won't run that. I didn't hear that all last fucking week. At all. But I'll hear the next 6 business reports will be from last week.
Good morning. This is Monday, February the 17th. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. And I'm Jordan Coulter. Here's what's making news this hour. 2 people are in hospital with possible life-threatening injuries after a shooting in Thornhill. The suspect still at large.
If I stub my toe, that's possibly life-threatening, eh?
Sound has claimed the life of a 14-year-old boy. A recovery mission continues today for a 9-year-old boy who fell through the ice in Lake Erie. It's the first long weekend of the year, and we'll tell you what's open and what's closed.
Everything.
3 unanswered goals by the Buffalo Sabres in the third spelled the end of the Maple Leafs night, and an entertaining finish at the NBA All-Star Game in Chicago between Team LeBron and Team Giannis. Sports at 15. And coming up in business, we check in with the Credit Counseling Society as the insolvencies approach a record.
680 News Time 101. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Michael Ranger.
Well, we're looking at a very quiet drive on the major routes right now throughout the GTA. Everything is moving well.
I want to hear
bigger
the
issues on city streets. We've got a collision at Kipling and Bethridge Road. So all lanes of southbound Kipling at that intersection are now blocked. Bethridge is just south of Rexdale, approaching the 409 and 401 if you're driving southbound on Kipling. Again, once you get to Bethridge Road, you cannot continue southbound. We've got all southbound lanes blocked as part of a crash that happened at that intersection. Again, looking back onto the major highways right now, no issues at all. We don't have any crashes. We don't have any overnight construction. Everything is moving well. If you're driving in or out of downtown, DVP, northbound, southbound, no problems there. Gardner's up to speed in both directions. The westbound Gardner ramp to Jarvis is blocked as part of the long-term construction going on the Gardner Expressway. But again, everything is moving fine. QEW up to speed, 403, 410, both moving well. 401 is in good shape all the way across the GTA, both eastbound and westbound. 400 and 404 are both moving well. Again, all your major routes up to speed at this time. Just got an issue on City Street, southbound Kipling, all lanes blocked at Bethridge Road because of a crash. Your next traffic report is at 111 with the forecast. Here's Malia Sheikh.
A daytime high of -3 on your Monday. Mainly sunny skies. It will feel a little bit cooler in the AM with the wind chill feeling more like -9 or so, but as the day progresses, it will get a little bit warmer, a low of -4. Your high for today, -3.
Right now, downtown Toronto, -1, feeling more like -4 under a partly cloudy sky, and over Pearson Airport, partly cloudy, -2, feeling more like -5. 680 News Time 103.
A shooting outside Promenade Mall in Thornhill has sent 2 people to hospital with serious and possibly life-threatening injuries. Sergeant Blair Steer of York Region Police tells us it happened in the Bathurst and Centre Street area.
At 8:40 this evening, York Region Police responded to a sound of gunshots call. Uniform officers attended the scene and located 2 victims who had been shot. Both victims were transported immediately to hospital.
Police say the suspect, who was masked at the time, has not been arrested and is possibly still armed. There was an extremely large police presence in the area as the police investigate. If you have any information on this incident, you're asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. 680 News Time 104. A 14-year-old has lost his life after a snowmobile crash in Kearney, Ontario. Provincial police say the boy was driving the snowmobile when he left the trail and struck a tree. When officials arrived, he was pronounced dead. The teenager has been identified as Mark Ramola of Springwater Township. Police say the investigation into the crash continues. You're listening to 680 News. A weekend of tragedy for a family south of Hamilton. Rescue efforts have now turned into recovery efforts for a 9-year-old boy at Peacock Point. Police say he and an 8-year-old boy were on the edge of the ice on Lake Erie on Saturday when a wave swept them into the water. A 10-year-old girl who was with the 2 boys flagged down a vehicle for help. Only the 8-year-old boy was able to resurface. OPP now say the other is presumed to have drowned. Officials were not able to search the water Sunday due to dangerous conditions. OPP will continue their search with the help of a helicopter combing the area. You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. About 200 demonstrators were in Niagara Falls Sunday afternoon, blocking traffic along the bridge between Canada and the U.S. The blockades are a show of solidarity with the Wet'suwet'en people's fight against the new pipeline in BC. This comes after a meeting with Minister Mark Miller and members of the Mohawk Nations tribe. Melissa McCauley from City News has more. Civil demonstration on the train track in Belleville continues after representatives of the Mohawk First Nation speaking with Indigenous Services Minister Mark Miller. Miller left that meeting saying some progress was made. He briefed Prime Minister Justin Trudeau about what it say publicly what was discussed. CN says Via Rail service in Eastern Canada is suspended until the situation is resolved. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has canceled a planned trip to Barbados today as he faces criticism over his handling of the situation. In a statement, the Prime Minister's office says in part, following the government's ongoing efforts to address infrastructure disruptions across the country, the PM will convene the incident response group tomorrow to discuss steps forward. Well, not long after, Premier Doug Ford released his statement where he said he spoke to Trudeau asking for a clear plan to end this national issue, urging the federal government to work with the impacted communities to find a resolution. Foreign Affairs Minister François-Philippe Champagne will represent Canada in Trudeau's place, clearing the way for the PM to focus on the protests. Meantime, as anti-pipeline protests continue, so do railway disruptions. Two national organizations are saying that we could be running out of critical supplies throughout the country. The Retail Council of Canada and the Canadian Propane Association both say that there will be minimal access to consumer goods and propane if the blockades continue. Senior Vice President of Public Affairs for the Retail Council of Canada says there is an inability to move goods across country through the various choke points. He adds, if this continues, it's possible that Canadians will not be able to get all the food they need. The council has contacted the federal government as well as the BC and Ontario provincial governments about enforcing injunctions that have already been issued. 680 News Time 107, the federal government providing an array of hope for hundreds, including two Toronto locals who spent weeks stranded in Japan aboard a Diamond Princess cruise ship. Karen Sewell, Winner City News, with the details of a journey home.
I didn't even make that
and
up.
Ellen Chow can't get off if you're fast enough. The Toronto couple is preparing to evacuate a massive luxury cruise ship that's been quarantined in Japan as hundreds on board were sickened by a virus named COVID-19. But the mini bubble that has been their life lately is about to be popped, with Canadian officials planning to send a chartered plane to evacuate citizens from the ship, the Diamond Princess.
We were just so thrilled. It's just like a big rock being lifted from our chest.
The Chows have urged Ottawa to step in since day one, even joining Twitter to call for help. They've been in touch with their local MP after trying to contact the embassy in Japan and the Canadian government, but getting nowhere.
All they're telling us is we simplify your situation, but we have to follow the Japanese rule. There's nothing we can do.
Before boarding the evacuation plane, the government says passengers will be screened for any symptoms. For City News, I'm Karen Seolin. You're listening to 680 News at 1:08. They are beautiful words. Holiday Monday.
Symptoms ranging from no symptoms to
joins
death.
us with what you need to know about Family Day on the first long weekend of the year.
We've had this long weekend gift in February for 12 years now. Family Day.
Motherfuckers.
GTA today.
Oh, yeah. Gee.
The epic Mac and Cheese Festival is on in Mississauga. Brewer's Backyard is at Evergreen Brickworks. The Winter Station's art displays back at Woodbine Beach. And how would you like to step into one of those winter stereotype Hallmark movies?
That's going to cost me 15 minutes of Cypress Hill.
And then warm up by fire.
It's Winter Rouge at Rouge National Urban Park in Scarborough, including horse-drawn sleigh rides, ice carving, build-your-own s'mores, on-site campfires, tourist attractions like Casa Loma, the Zoo, the Hockey Hall of Fame, all open today, along with some malls, while most LCBO and beer stores are closed. The TTC is running on holiday service, Go Transit on Saturday service. I'm Jamie Pulfer.
The fuck is
Coming
Saturday
up, traffic and weather together on the 680 News Time 109.
Happy Family Day. This is 680 News and 680news.com.
There's always been two ways to invest. You do it yourself.
You just give all your money to somebody. I never heard of that second way of investing, where you just give all your money to somebody else. That's the weird way. Man seriously injured in Yonge Street shooting. So Yonge Street passes through Thornhill, so I was wondering if I'm reading the same article twice, but it's not. Toronto police say a man is in hospital. There's two bicycles here, so somebody shot. I don't know. Somebody got shot while riding a bike, maybe? I don't know. Toronto police say a man is in hospital with serious injuries after he was shot on Yonge Street in the early hours of Sunday morning. Emergency crews responded to the area of Yonge and Gerrard Streets just after 4:30 a.m. Yeah, 4 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. It gets popping on here, man. That intersection, I could have told you not to be down there. Police say the victim is believed to be in his 20s. Well, I don't know who the fuck you are. His injuries are serious but non-life threatening. More to come. This is 7:30 in the morning. Sunday. So 4:30. So yeah, Sunday.
It's the TADA 50K giveaway, presented by the New Car Dealers of Ontario.
2 adults, 2 kids, only $50. The Toys R Us Family Admission Pass.
Say go to the auto show, just steps away from Union Station.
I gotta pay you to come look at the shit you're trying to sell me? Hold on, we got fucking eBay, buddy.
Transformative times. Metro Toronto Convention Center on now until February 23rd.
6:30 News Time, 1:11. Time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones with an eye on your drive. Here's Michael Ranger.
This report brought to you by 407 ETR. So looking at a very quiet drive if you're out on the major routes right now. Not seeing much to report. 401, no issues all the way across the city, eastbound and westbound. It's a smooth drive. Highway 400, northbound, southbound, no problems there. 404 DVP, same thing, northbound and southbound. It is moving fine. Gardner's up to speed in both directions. Just a reminder, there is that long-term construction. It's down to 2 lanes in both directions between York Street and the DVP. Now, lane restrictions aren't a problem now with the light traffic, but as part of the long-term construction, the westbound Gardner ramp to Jarvis remains closed. QEW up to speed, 403, 410, both moving well. 427, northbound, southbound, no delays there. Again, all your major routes up to speed right now. If we look at city streets, we do have an issue. Southbound Kipling Avenue, it is blocked right now, all lanes at Bethbridge Road, which is just south of Rexdale as you're approaching the 409 and 401 if you're traveling southbound on Kipling. And again, southbound Kipling closed at that intersection because of a collision at the intersection of Kipling and Bethbridge Road. This year, 407 ETR is adding 30 kilometers of new lanes to keep up with increasing traffic and keep your commutes fast, safe, and reliable. Visit 407etr.com. Next traffic report is at 1:21 with the forecast. Here is Malia Sheikh.
A pretty decent Family Day Monday is in store. Daytime high of -3, a little bit cooler than our seasonal average of -1. It will feel quite a bit cooler, though, in the morning, so just be mindful of that if you plan on going out for a jog. Mainly sunny conditions and a low of -4. Tuesday, it warms up to +5 as your daytime high, but we are expecting some showers in the AM and a low of -6. Your high for today, -3.
Downtown Toronto right now, it is 0, feeling like -3 under a partly cloudy sky. And over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions there, -3, feeling like -8. We'll take the time out to stand back and relax this Family Day at the Brewers Backyard. It features a distinctive lineup of breweries like Big Rock Brewery, Great Lakes Brewery, and Steam Whistle Brewing, who will be serving up some flavorful brews for all palates, accompanied by some of the best eats in town. It's taking place at the Evergreen Brickworks from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And for more information, go to 6citynews.com. Still to come on 6 City News, well, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will not be traveling to Barbados today. We'll tell you why coming up. 6 City News Time, 1:13.
What do your customers love about streaming content? Well, everything. That's why Adyen makes it simple for users to subscribe to the content they love.
Not just him, anybody, right? That's what I think. This is fucking insane. I keep calling it the Union of Socialist Canadian Provinces, and I think we've just found something. Murder of sex worker exposes Canada's hypocrisy on prostitution. Advocate. This gets fucked up. The recent killing of a 22-year-old woman in Quebec, I don't know why we haven't heard nothing about this, has focused renewed attention on Canada's prostitution laws, which critics say are applied regularly across the country and only make sex work more dangerous. People connected to the industry say the January 22nd death of Marilyn Levesque in a suburban Quebec City hotel has exposed hypocrisy in the way the law is enforced in this country and highlighted the cowardice of Canada's political class on the issue of sex work. Jack Layton, his name is John, Jack, quote unquote, Jack Layton, got caught with a hooker in the 90s and let go, but they wrote everything down. I'm not going to go into all the history of this. We're only going to find out what it says here. Sold to the public in 2014 as a way of protecting women in the sex trade, Bill C-36, you can look that up, has pushed women who sell sexual services into becoming quote-unquote invisible. Sandra Wesley, an advocate for women in the sex industry, said, Things are definitely getting worse for sex workers, said Wesley, the head of Stella, a Montreal-based organization run by and for sex workers. We have to make more and more compromises in terms of our safety so the client feels safe. And in brackets, this is from arrest. Because you get arrested. The laws in this country are fucked. Okay, pay attention to this next paragraph. Eustacio Galiz, 51-year-old convict, out on day parole, has been charged with second-degree murder in Levesque's death. It's pretty bad, eh? He was imprisoned for murdering his wife in 2004. That's even worse. And had been convicted of assaulted a previous partner. That's pretty bad, eh? But as part of his day parole, a, quote, risk management strategy, end quote, was developed to allow Galiz to meet women to respond to his, quote, unquote, sexual needs. They let this motherfucker out of jail to meet hookers, and he killed one of them. This is fucking Canada. Does that happen in the U.S.? Everything I hear about the U.S. is you go to jail and you never fucking get out again somehow, right? Well, but I'm supposed to be afraid of the police stopping me from doing everything I do, and I don't do shit like this. I ain't worried about going to fucking jail. This motherfucker, I don't fucking get this. What's the message? What's your target market? Remember what they were saying? What's your target market and blah blah blah. What is the message I'm supposed to take from this as the average Canadian, or the Canadian criminal, or the Canadian police officer, or whatever the fuck you are? The average Canadian housewife. How about that? Wesley argues that Levesque, who was a sex worker, was placed in danger by the stricter laws governing prostitution. Before 2014, Wesley explained, a man could pay a woman to have sex in a private hotel room and no one was committing a crime. That's true. But under Bill C-30, people don't realize that. And before 2005, the legal age of consent from 1895 to 2005 was 14. So people don't like to talk about this, but Canada had a serious reputation for I want to call it child sex tourism, but technically they're legal if they're 14, and prostitution's not there. All these fucked up things back then. The laws are different now. You don't know what it was like. But under Bill C-36, purchasing sex or benefiting from the selling of sex is illegal. Sex workers cannot advertise sexual services, and potential clients cannot communicate with a prostitute in any way or in any place for the purposes of buying sex. Which I thought there was already a charge for that before, one simple charge. Although the law protects the sex worker from criminal liability, clients or the employer, such as a massage parlor, face arrest and prosecution. Wesley said a woman in a hotel room with a client doesn't want to bring attention to herself out of fear hotel staff will call police, which doesn't make sense to me, but okay. Instead of screaming or running out of the room to the front desk, which we probably should do, sex workers have learned to attempt to take care of hostile situations on their own. I don't know if that's a good idea. There are other instances where the law forces women into dangerous situations. Before, prostitutes could lean on a car window and negotiate services and a price with a client. They could take the time to inspect the car and the man to spot anything suspicious. But now, Wesley said, the act of negotiating services is illegal. Now, this doesn't make sense to me. So you have to be gangster with it and just do what you're doing anyway. Quote, we have to jump in the car really fast as soon as it slows down, she said, referring to the women her organization represents. No, don't do that. You see drug dealers doing that? I've been telling people for years, don't get in the fucking car to sell drugs. Don't fucking get in somebody's car. That's how they fucking get you. Cops or killers or robbers or whatever the fuck they are. They already know what you're doing staying in there. So there's no, oh, I'm going to have a fist fight for my honor. That's all fucking bullshit. That's how you get fucking sworn by like 15 fucking people and shit. Don't get in the fucking car. That's my opinion. Local media reported that Gillespie, this is where it gets even more fucked up. Local media reported that Gillespie had been banned from the massage parlor where Levesque worked after he had been aggressive. Okay, so how the fuck did these two end up in the same room together? Wesley says massage parlor owners across Quebec are reluctant to report dangerous clients to police because they run the risk of being arrested or losing their business. Except for this one, apparently. Yannick Chicoine, owner of a massage parlor in the East End Montreal neighborhood of Hochelaga Maisonneuve, agrees that most parlor owners don't dare call police if a client becomes problematic or if other trouble occurs. I'll fucking hit you with a pipe or something. Get the fuck out of here. And I'll call the cops on you. Quote, I could say the majority, I don't run one of these places, but if I did, that's how I'd do it. I could say the majority of them would not call the police because they are afraid, said Chiquan, head of a massage parlor association that represents about 50 establishments in the province. Chiquan? Why is there an E, man? That's what's throwing me off. But Chiquan says that he would welcome arrest to put the country's prostitution laws to a legal test. His massage parlor, called La Montrealaise, openly flouts Canadian law, detailing on its website various sexual services that are available. There's a missing apostrophe. Chiquan said he's ready to go all the way to the Supreme Court. Quote, if they come to arrest us, we are definitely already prepared to assert the rights of sex workers and their clients, he said in a recent interview. But so far, he said the police have left him alone as long as he doesn't hire minors or have ties with organized crime. That's how simple it is. La Montrealaise is located in a low-income neighborhood that was previously home to many women selling sex from the street. The police, he said, prefer that the women work indoors in a safe environment. Levesque's murder exposed other problems in the way the law is enforced. Although the parole board called the strategy quote-unquote inappropriate, documents show Gillespie was permitted to meet women strictly for sexual purposes. It was essentially a green light to break the law and hire prostitutes. The fuck? Stan Stapleton, president of the union that represents parole officers, said he was informed the suspect saw Levesque in a hotel because he was no longer permitted by the parole board to visit massage parlors. Yeah, no longer permitted. Stapleton said in a recent interview his office had received calls from correctional employees in different parts of the country saying the practice of letting offenders purchase sex was rare, but it did occur in the past. Where are they getting money from? Hold on. Wait. You're essentially paying for it too, because however they're getting money is something they're doing in the jail. Right? No? Am I wrong? A spokeswoman for Correctional Services Canada, which employs parole officers, said it is taking the union's allegations seriously. Let us be clear that the Correctional Service of Canada does not support offenders soliciting sexual services, Esther Melo said in an email. Federal Public Safety Minister Bill Blair has launched an investigation into the circumstances that led to Levesque's death. Yeah, you deal with that, Mr. Blair, you fucking idiot. Blair was unavailable for an interview, and his office did not address specific questions about prostitution laws being ignored or loosely enforced, and whether the federal government plans to modify the legislation. In an email, I would have asked him about this fucking day parole, motherfucker. In an email, his spokeswoman, Marie-Lee Power, limited her comments to the Levesque case, saying the investigation launched by Blair, quote, will determine whether or not correct protocols were followed in this case and shine a light on which systemic changes could help ensure that a tragedy like this never happens again. How the fuck? Wow. Wesley says she has been told by politicians that they realize that Canada's current prostitution laws aren't working. She says they are reluctant to act because they are worried about being portrayed as encouraging the proliferation of the sex trade. That doesn't make sense. It's like not bringing out drug laws because you'll encourage drugs to be sold. That is so fucking stupid. Who is this person? The spokeswoman for Bill Blair, Public Safety Minister. Wow, you hired this person? Fuck. Quote, we know that their concern right now is whether or not decriminalizing, it wasn't illegal, decriminalizing sex work will affect the re-election chances, she said. How the fuck? So if you're in jail, like $300 is a lot of fucking money, eh? Like, I mean, it's only a few cigarettes or something, but like how you get your hands on $300, I mean, is like a lot. How the fuck? Who the fuck? I don't understand. Who's giving this guy money? Who's paying? Who paid for this hooker? What are they gonna do? Put him in jail? He's in fucking jail. How the fuck did they do that? I have a little bit of weed left. You're never gonna tell me what this thing is that you're asking me. So you see why I'm a little bit loco and uncoco? El Coco, or whatever the fuck the word is. Oh, there were other stories too. I got real stuck on that one.
The latest numbers from the Office of the Superintendent of Bankruptcy Canada are alarming, to say the least. The last quarter of 2019 saw more than 35,000 insolvencies. We haven't seen figures that high in a quarter since 2010. To discuss this, I'm speaking with Credit Counseling Society President Scott Hanna. Scott, what's your reaction to those numbers?
I'm not surprised because it's an ongoing trend, seeing an increasing level of insolvencies.
If people realize they've accumulated too much debt and want to get back in control, what should they know about their options?
The first step is getting back down to a balanced budget before looking at any option.
You don't get GST checks for a year.
You have to get to the point where you're living within your means. And once you're at that point, now you're in a better position to gauge what's the best way to resolve my current situation. So we don't recommend that people react to it. People should be proactive. If they're not sure where to get started, they should approach an organization like ours where they can meet with a counselor confidentially, with no cost, and look at all the things they can do. But really getting to the point where you are really in control of your finances, understand how much money is coming in, where it's going, and what you need to do to resolve your overall situation. That's the most important step first.
Okay, we've talked about individual action. What about policymakers? Anything governments can or should do?
Well, one initiative that the province of Quebec took was to increase the minimum payment required on unsecured debt, like credit cards and lines of credit, and moving it up towards 5%. One thing we've seen over the past 25 years is that the average minimum payment on a credit card or line of credit has dropped dramatically. It used to be that the minimum payment was 5% of the previous month's outstanding balance, where today it's typically around 2%. And what that means is that you or I can now today carry 2.5 times more debt with the same monthly payment that we had 25 years ago.
That's Scott Hanna with the Credit Counseling Society. In the business
that
center,
means you can have 2.5 times more cars.
Home with the best local traffic reports on the ones on 680 News.
The trust isn't there anymore. It's over.
We have.
How I never heard of this. You see me checking these sites and checking Google and shit for what Wagwan, man, but this is the first I've. It says January 22nd. In a hotel. How the fuck did she end up in a hotel with him? So he got barred from going to that parlor and also wasn't supposed to be doing this anymore. Where the fuck is this? No longer permitted by the parole board to visit massage parlors. You're doing it wrong. You're not being gangster with it. This Yannick guy is, but the rest of you are doing it wrong. Don't give in to the customer. Tell them to fuck themselves. When I say it, it's not literal. You could say it literally. Tell them to fuck up. Somebody else will pay you for it. Or you could just keep it to yourself. Save it for later. I don't fucking know. I'm not in that business. That was one business I never went near. Oh, I know that it's not like I don't know these girls from the street. I just don't get involved at all. They buy weed and cigarettes, and I have nothing else to do with them. That is fucking insane. I thought I was fucking insane. I'm fucking level-headed compared to these motherfuckers. People are attacking me, and I specifically would like to attack them back unless they would just stop. That makes sense. This does not make sense.
Resume today. Family Day means the day off. We'll let you know what's open and what's closed.
At Coming up in business, move aside cannabis. Drug companies that deal in magic mushrooms and LSD are getting set to go public on Canadian stock exchanges. We'll take a trippy, closer look straight ahead.
An entertaining NBA All-Star game wrapping up in the Windy City in Chicago. It came down to a free throw while the Maple Leafs unravel in the third period in Buffalo. Sports at 45.
6 City News Time, 1:31. Time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, here's Michael Ranger.
This report brought to you by the Pemberton Group. Well, we've got a couple of new issues now on the 427. Southbound 427, just south of the 401. We've got a stalled tractor trailer in the right lane of the express. Tow truck just arriving on scene. We've got a police car there as well. Now, roads are lightly traveled, so this isn't causing any slowdowns. Just be careful as you drive through there. Just more of a visual distraction. Again, this is southbound 427, south of the 401. We've got a stalled tractor trailer blocking the right lane, and then northbound 427 at the 401, just a little bit of north north of where that other issue was. We've got a collision. It looks like, but it is just in the left shoulder. So again, this is northbound 427 going by the 401. Looks like a car went into the guardrail. We've got a maintenance vehicle on scene there. No live lanes blocked. Again, as you come around the corner there, just be careful. You'll see the flashing lights in the left shoulder. And again, with the light traffic, that isn't causing any slowdown either. But that's really all the issues that we have on the major routes right now. Everything else is moving well. 401 in good shape all the way across the city. If you're coming in or out of downtown, DVP's up to speed. So is the Gardner. Moving fine in both directions. All your major routes are up to speed. If we look at City Street, southbound Kipling, all lanes blocked right now at Bethridge Road for a crash. Bethridge is just south of Rexdale as you approach the 401. Once again, southbound Kipling, all lanes blocked at Bethridge Road. Introducing 9th and Main condominiums, townhomes, and lofts in Stouffville, a luxury ravine community by Pemberton Group, one of Canada's most reliable developers. Visit pembertongroup.com to learn more. Your next traffic report is at 1:41 with the forecast. Here's Malia Sheikh.
A daytime high of -3 today, mainly sunny skies. A pretty decent day to get outside. Just make sure you're bundled up. And a low of -4. Your high for today, -3.
Downtown Toronto, it's -1, feeling like -7 under a partly cloudy sky. And over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions, -3, feeling like -8. 6 City News Time, 1:33. York Region Police say a shooting near the Promenade Mall in Thornhill has sent 2 people to hospital. The suspect has not been arrested and is still believed to be armed. Melissa McConnelly from City News has more. York police are at the scene of a double shooting. This is a look at the large police presence at a parking lot at Bathurst and Centre Street, just steps from Promenade Mall. Investigators say both victims were in a vehicle when a masked man opened fire around 8:45. They say the suspect fled the scene immediately after, so far no word on a description. Police believe the person may be armed and dangerous. The victims are in hospital, but their conditions are not known. Listen to Kabuli City News. Meantime, a teenage boy is dead following a snowmobile crash in Kearney, which is a small town in Parry Sound. Provincial police reporting that 14-year-old Mark Ramola of Springwater Township left the trail, struck a tree, and was pronounced dead shortly after. No other vehicles were involved in the crash. This is the third snowmobile-related fatality in Ontario this weekend. 6 City News Time, 1:34. The search for a 9-year-old boy who fell through the ice on Lake Erie Saturday has become a recovery mission. Tina Asdani from City News has more.
Provincial police say 2 boys, an 8-year-old and 9-year-old, were on the ice edge when a wave swept them into the water near Peacock Point on Lake Erie. A 10-year-old girl with the boys ran to get help. She flagged down a vehicle, and a man and a woman were able to rescue the 8-year-old boy, but police say the 9-year-old did not resurface.
OPP search and rescue crews could not search the water Sunday due to dangerous conditions. For now, the OPP are using a helicopter to search the area. Winter enthusiasts continue to see tragedy as search and rescue crews recovered the bodies of 2 men killed in a Colorado avalanche this weekend. ABC's Lionel Moisey has more.
Officials say 3 riders on snow bikes were caught in an avalanche Saturday in Eagle County. One was able to free himself and call for help, but the 2 others did not make it. The bodies of 28-year-old Dylan Block and 30-year-old Cesar Amanda Hernandez recovered Sunday. The Colorado Avalanche Information Center reporting 4 people have died in avalanches there this season. Lionel Moise, ABC News.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. 2 national organizations are now warning off the long-term impact blockades will have on the Canadian economy. According to the CBC, both the National Propane Association and the Retail Council of Canada says a shortage of consumer goods isn't out of the question if blockades continue. While propane is still coming through a pipeline in Sarnia, it can only be transported via truck. The president and CEO of the Canadian Propane Association says the current wait times for propane are critical. Also, there aren't enough trucks to sustain demand throughout the country. CN Rail obtained a court injunction to the end of Belleville protests, but the OPP have yet to enforce it. 680 News Time, 1:36. As the coronavirus outbreak continues to spread, so does the racial discrimination against the Asian community. One Toronto local has created a short film to depict the pain many in the Chinese community are feeling.
It's an issue close to Zhao Zhang's heart, inspired by news of a coronavirus-themed party at Queen's University in Kingston earlier this month. The 25-year-old felt he needed to make a film expressing the pain and hurt being felt by the Chinese community. Queen's also happens to be his alma mater.
As much as I want to say, oh, everybody, all come to Queen's, is a great university, I love it there. Right now, people feel scared to show that, okay, I'm a Chinese on campus, right?
The film took about 4 days to complete from casting to final editing. Zhang has been sharing it widely on social media, even posting it to the very Facebook group where word of the Queen's University party first got out. In Toronto, Eric Natividad, City News.
680 News Time, 1:37. Going into Family Day Monday, you don't need to worry about spending time indoors. 680's weather specialist Nalia Sheikh says the day will be filled with sunshine.
It'll be a pretty decent Family Day Monday, a little bit warmer than the weather we've been experiencing this weekend. A daytime high of -3, mainly sunny conditions, and a very light breeze. So it should be a good day to step outside today. Just make sure you're dressed for it.
So make sure you have a warm coat, a hat, mitts, and all the hot chocolate you need for celebrating your family on Family Day. And speaking of Family Day activities, it's a holiday today, and that means it's anything but a normal day. Among the changes, the TTC is operating on a holiday service schedule, while GO Transit is operating on a Saturday service schedule. Most of the city's tourist attractions are open, including the AGO, ROM, and CN Tower. And you can still get your shopping fix with several malls across the GTA open for business, including Bromley City Centre, Pacific Mall, and the Eaton Centre. Banks and government offices, however, are closed. For a complete list of what is open and closed, you can go and find out on 680news.com. Still to come on 680 News, we'll have traffic and weather together on the ones, but first we'll take a look at the price at the pumps. 680 News Time, 1:39.
And the award for Best Pizza goes to Pizza for Pizza and a Movie.
Thank you for this delicious experience. I'd like to thank the large pizza, all 3 drinks, and the chance to work with so many amazing toppings. Oh, I almost forgot. Thanks for the 2-for-1 movie pass. Wait, I'm not finished.
Pizza and a Movie, a large 3-topping pizza, 3 drinks, and a 2-for-1 Cineplex movie admission for only $14.99. Only at Pizza.
967-1111. Order pizza.ca.
Put us on and find out what to wear. The best weather reports in the city every 10 minutes on 680 News.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Enpro says the price of gas did not change at midnight, holding it just under $1.13 a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather together next. 680 News Time, 1:40. Hi, I'm Ivanka Osback from Sportsnet. With a job that starts late, a 2-year-old that starts early, and a new baby on the way, getting a great night's sleep was a challenge, to say the least. I love my sleep and I needed help, so I reached out to the sleep experts at Sleep Country. They were awesome. The first thing they did was fit me with the right pillow for my unique sleeping style. I thought all pillows were the same, but after I tested a few, they matched me with the BioSoy pillow, and I've never looked back. It features high-density memory foam that shapes to my head and neck to help take a load off my tired back. And you don't need to be pregnant to appreciate the all-natural hypoallergenic cover. Better pillow, better sleep, better me.
Why did you mention
Plus,
it? What
it
the
gets
fuck?
better. Right now, buy one BioSoy pillow at Sleep Country and get a second BioSoy pillow free. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
Oh, I know what happened.
Sleep
Somebody saw
Country.
this car and
All
it's so
for
ugly
sleep.
they started shooting at it.
Weather forecast you can bank on, because if we're off by more than 3 degrees,
You can win our growing cash jackpot. The 680 News Weather Guarantee. Enter online at 680news.com.
680 News Time, 1:41. Time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, here's Michael Ranger.
You better be something.
We're still looking at a pretty quiet drive here out on the major routes. We do have a new problem. Someone called this one in on the eastbound
Chesterfield.
Gardner. Just past the Spadina ramp, we've got a stalled vehicle in the right lane, or according to the traffic spotter, tow truck was there changing the tire of that vehicle. So again, either way, the right lane is blocked. So you've just got the two live
Pull it
left
off
lanes
the
open.
fucking
Now, not
bridge,
causing any
moron.
slowdown, but some of the cars just hitting the brakes a little bit going by this. I've got this one up on the camera. So just be careful as you drive through there. Again, this is the eastbound Gardner, just past the Spadina ramp. We've got the right lane blocked. Other than that, the Gardner is up to speed. Reminder, westbound Gardner ramp to Jarvis is closed as part of the long-term construction going on there. DVP, northbound, southbound, no problems. It's all up to speed. 401's in good shape all the way across the city. Highway 427 moving fine. We do have a couple of problems there, though. Southbound 427 just south of the 401. Stalled tractor trailer. Got a tow truck and police on scene. That's blocking the right lane of the express. So you still got 4 live lanes open, so no slowdown. Just, again, something to look out for. And then on the northbound 427 going by the 401, we've got a collision. Now, this isn't blocking any live lanes. It's in the left shoulder. Looks like a vehicle went into the guardrail there. And then we've got tow trucks and police on scene there as well. Again, 3 live lanes are open, but the left shoulder is blocked. It's right as you going around a corner. So just be careful if you're driving on the northbound 427 as you head by the 401. Other than that, all major routes up to speed. We did have an issue on City Street. Southbound Kipling was blocked at Bethridge Road because of a crash. That has now reopened. Your next traffic report is at 1:51 with the forecast. Here's Malia Sheikh.
A daytime high of -3 on your Monday, mainly sunny skies, and a low of -4. Tuesday, it warms up to +5 as your daytime high, quite a bit warmer than our seasonal average of -1. And we are expecting some showers in the early morning, a low of -6. Your high for today, -3.
Right now, downtown Toronto, it is -1, though feeling more like -7 under a partly cloudy sky. And over Pearson Airport, partly cloudy, -2, feeling more like -5. Still to come on 680 News, police in Hawaii are investigating the theft of a very pungent but valuable fruit. More on that to come. 680 News Time, 1:43.
Green Park and Star Lane are proud to bring beauty to life. Your life.
No.
Welcome to Mountain View Heights, an oasis community in beautiful escarpment country. Nestled within a rich network of parks and trails and featuring amenities and transit options, Waterdown is only 10 minutes from Oakville. Phase 3 opens this spring. Don't miss out on this stunning collection of semis and singles in the heart of Waterdown. Register at mountainviewheights.ca.
Did I miss it? Did he not say a price?
Take a photo.
No. I know what, it's going to be bullshit for the next 17 minutes. I'm going to study up on what fucking Trudeau is doing here. Okay, one of these. No, I knew. I saved myself enough to roll another little drum. Weed's good. It doesn't have to be big fat cones. And we tried that. It took 20 minutes to break up the weed, and An hour to fucking burn the fucking spliff. What the fuck? Okay. No. Fuck. I've got thousands of fucking songs I would love to just here, listen to this, but I don't have to certain things at hand, right? I don't remember what I left running. Motherfuckers, your connection is unstable. No, I'm unstable. The connection's fine. The problem you're having is this operating system is not cooperating with its applications. No!
Gang members run.
This black flag is all I need. Live my life like this every day of the week. Sometimes it's hard, but we still get by. We just living our lives and be prepared to die. So this black flag is all I need. Live my life like this every day of the week.
Shit.
Sometimes
You know what I just
it's hard,
realized?
but we still get by.
Yeah, coming native from the hood, trying to make a buck for myself in the hood. If I could sell a piece to a priest, then I would. Cause I'm about my paper, dog, it's all good. When I roll up my dough up, cocky like Rocky Balboa. Product of the devil gon' blow up, stacking higher than the Twin Towers. Blow up on the scene like the fucking two towers. All I want in life is a fucking money shower. So what I cop a month is a brick coat power. My eyes low faded, smart got rated. What never get got from a pig made it. Laughing at these suckers, it's all smooth sailing. Patron in my cup, in the cup where a motherfucker toasted. Puff another blunt to be toasted. If a motherfucker hate, then we rolling. So much money, so much riches. All my life I've been thug living. Got the first to brick, and then it's on. Tell my baby mama I ain't never coming home. So much money, so much bitches. All my life I've been straight living. Got the first to brick, and then it's on. Throw them in the beach, I ain't never coming home. Boys in the hood, got toys in the hood. House party bumps make noise in the hood. When I think back, dollar sign, blink that. Fuck a bitch with a fat ass, I'm the master. Sitting in the cell, probably like a master. Living in the hell, but my seed not a bastard. Only keep it gangster, laying up the faster. Product of the devil, bass be the crack in the coke, be the treble. Personifying everything, and I don't give a fuck if you don't understand. I'm on another level. You can't tell me nothing, but try and tell me something. Why the fuck you hating when I'm rolling by something? Probably cause I'm doing big things and you frontin'. Cheers to my haters, cheers to my dogs. Life of a gangster, praying till I fall. Trying to stay on top till I'm all fucking fall. So much money, so much riches. All my life I've been thug living. Got the first to brick, and then it's on. Tell my baby mama I ain't never coming home. So much money, so much bitches. All my life I've been straight living. Got the first to brick, and then it's on. Throw them in the beach, I ain't never coming home. Stole for a heater, now I pack a heater. Money coming quicker than a motherfucking cheetah. Fresh to death, sipping the plug, sitting with a couple sexy senoritas. I'm a soldier, till my deceased on the boulder. Living and giving a fuck the weight of the world on my shoulder. Haven't ever had a harder clip, yeah, I got that shit. Got bitches on my job, I'm the cap on the ship. And this is how it is, it's how we do in the city. Witty wolf if I was sheep, I don't feel no pity. Rather be the fucking kitty, ever since I was a nitty bitty kitty. Trying to make a fucking buck, go a time by a flizzy. Grind for the grizzly, working be busy. Purple, so got my murky, I'm dizzy. Faded, so I'm gon' get laid in the city. Packing my heater in case I get so much money, so much riches. All my life I've been thug living. Got to burst the brick, and then it's on. Tell my baby mama I ain't never coming home. So much money, so much bitches. All my life I've been straight living. Got to burst the brick, and then it's on. Tell them in the beach I ain't never coming home. Thug living. Thug living.
How did I know that was gonna come up, man? is not in fucking order at all. There we go. I don't think this is a proper alphabetical order on this machine. And if I try to just click on the track, everything is fucked up, so fuck that. What did you just do? That's not what I'm after. That's not what I'm after at all. What the fuck did you just do? Motherfucker, everything's a fucking registered beat.
Wait a second, something else happening. Race.
He bound to make the majors, he don't even like sports. He put street bass by the book all day long. He said fuck school, instead of going to class, he left to cook the weight back, pump backs to the money stack. No such thing as a dealer with villains. All I know was cold-hearted, bloodthirsty villains. Shit, I watch him sell crack to pregnant women and children. I ain't trying to solve the problem, I'm a part of it. Fuck the world, coke drink got my throat numb. Liquor got me leaning, dropping my gun. Got a question for the Lord, why someone always in the dead when we having fun? Throw a rose on the casket, time to move on. This is where I'm from, a place of no return. A dead end block where the cracks serve. Yeah, it's cool, I'm still a bill of birds. I know that's coming, I'm just waiting my turn. Yeah, I'm drunk, sipping any yo, bro. Count pennies like ball hard. Yeah, I'm Shaq with the crack rock. Junior baby mama's clipped to a crack spot. From a block away, hit a chopper spray. Better watch what you say, cause you can end up with some cells in your back like have a nice day. I know this ain't no way to live where I'm from. It's the only way that is.
Yeah, fuck it's the only way there is. All these other motherfuckers talking shit. Acting like they moving shit, making money, and it was sort of rocking your life. True hustlers, boy stand up. Ride or die shit, ride.
I know this ain't no way to live where I'm from. It's the only way that is. I know this ain't no way to live where I'm from. It's the only way that is.
Never gonna stop riding, breaking the laws. I'm freezing heaven like a pop fly. We facing the balls, you won't be shot by it. I ain't taking the loss. My dog squeeze, that's some hot iron straight in the score. They could try to hot wire, but you faded, you go on. Now your mama starts crying cause you faded, you lost. Your body drop, it's outline, draped and chalk. The shotty pop, with your outline, base to the wall. We can brawl or pop, holler, raging the war. The straight swords, it's just pop bottles, breaking your jaws. You readers know we make it top dollar, baking the law. This crack slanging, see the block models breaking them more. I get a rock swallow when I'm taking the tour. But if I see them cops follow when we shaking them more. The kid is living in chaos, the chambers before we beat the anomalous, so we dangerous. Those walk, let it bang, let me walk in the cages. Slang, if we take till we locked in our cages. Walking my way, and you're dropping your great bitch. Talking your names or you're lost to the pavement. PK, I'm a stray, I'm a prophet to say that your carpets are based in a heartless place. Dog lost in my brain, so we walk with a gangster, stay on to dangerous.
I know this ain't no way to live where I'm from. It's the only way that is. I know this ain't no way to live where I'm from. It's the only way that is.
Just another day around the way. My homie discovered these, step out the cage. Already got that look in his eyes, telling me you won't be long till you back again. Yeah, it's a fucked up world that we live in. I swear when I close my eyes, I can hear the tears of my children. So in my seat, but it wouldn't hear me. Die by the cold of the streets. This is the life of a G. Something that I never want you to see. I'm watching angels and demons fighting over me. Yeah, the willing gets to keep my soul eternally. They call this the struggle with life. All I know is around here it gets cold at night. There ain't no food in the fridge. Mama doesn't get paid this week. Yeah, they're yelling again, so it's kinda hard to sleep. Fuck counting sheep. I'm counting how many times God will answer me. These cold streets, only thing that welcomes me. Yeah, I'm listening to my heartbeat. Getting high, smoking weed. I hit the blunt, pass it to my head. Oh, time to takes me a minute to realize that you ain't there. Spend a lot of time talking to myself like you're still here. Only thing I can do is pour my liquor on and send you my prayer. Just another day, living in the Lord. Just another day around the way. Feeling good today. I didn't die today. Just another day, living in the hood. Just another day around the way. Good today, nice here to stay. It ain't unusual to hear gunshots on the block. Homicide detectives on the corner taping out the murder spot. The Jack boys down the street saying, give me what you got. Little homie used to rock. He hustle hard to get that watch, so we refuse to give it down. One shell from the clock, lay them on the block. Now someone else is wearing that watch. Yeah, it's a cold world, better learn to hold your own. Rocks the next tombstone that they call might be your own. Can someone please explain? For some reason, even though the sun's shining over here, it still rains. Lord, forgive me for my evil ways. I fear I'll never change. I'll always be this way. For some reason, we just gotta learn the hard way. I pump packs and sell coke to Broadway. I be repping for my city every day, all day. From your black flag cup, let you feel me. It's gang life, motherfucker, till they kill me. Kill me. Just another day, living in the hood. Just another day around the way. Good today, I didn't die today. Just another day, living in the hood.
Definitely the coldest in Uxbridge right now. In Vaughan, partly cloudy, -5 right now downtown Toronto, -1, feeling more like -7. The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. 680 News time, 2 o'clock.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Good morning. This is Sunday, February the 17th. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick.
And I'm Jordan Coulter. Here's what's making news this hour.
A suspect is believed to be still at large after a shooting near the Promenade Mall in Vaughan.
The recovery efforts continue after a 9-year-old boy fell through the ice in Lake Erie.
The Prime Minister is calling off a planned trip to Barbados today as he faces backlash in the wake of the anti-pipeline protests.
And we have what's open and what's closed for this Family Day Monday.
3 unanswered goals by the Buffalo Sabres in the third spelled the end of the Maple Leafs night and an entertaining finish at the NBA All-Star Game in Chicago between Team LeBron and Team Giannis. Sports at 15.
And coming up in business, the clock is ticking to the 2019 RRSP deadline. But if you don't have the money to contribute, is an RSP loan a good option?
680 News time, 2:01.
Time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, here's Michael Ranger.
Well, still looking at a very quiet drive if you're out on the major routes. We're just dealing with one problem right now. It's on the southbound 427 in the express just south of the 401. Right lane is blocked. We've got a stalled tractor trailer there. We had a tow truck police on scene. We've got more maintenance vehicles have shown up now as well. So again, they're still just blocking the right lane. You've got 4 live lanes of traffic getting by, so there's no slowdown with the light traffic right now. It's just a visual distraction. Watch out for that. Southbound 427 just south of the 401 in the expressed. Other than that, major routes are problem-free. 427 moving fine in both directions in spite of that issue on the southbound side of it. Gardner's up to speed. DVP northbound, southbound, no problems there. 401 in great shape all the way across the GTA in both directions. 400 northbound and southbound, no problem. Same thing with the 404. It is up to speed. We did have one problem on City Street. Southbound Kipling was closed or blocked, I should say, at Bethridge Road. There was a crash there. And again, all the southbound lanes weren't getting through. That has since cleared. All lane closures are now gone. You can continue southbound on Kipling past Bethridge Road. Once again, all major routes are up to speed at this time. Your next traffic report is at 2:11 with the forecast. Here's Malia Sheikh.
A daytime high of -3 on your Monday, mainly sunny skies. It will feel a little bit cooler in the AM with the wind chill feeling more like -9 or so, but as the day progresses, it will get a little bit warmer, a low of -4. Your high for today, -3.
Right now, downtown Toronto, it is -1, feeling more like -7 under a partly cloudy sky, and over at Pearson Airport, partly cloudy, -2, feeling more like -5. 680 news time, 2:03.
Police are investigating a shooting in Thornhill that sent 2 men to hospital with serious and possibly life-threatening injuries. It happened at the Bathurst and Centre Street area near the Promenade Mall around 8:30 Sunday evening.
Sergeant Blair Steer with York Regional Police tells 680 News that the masked suspect is still at large.
There's a shooting and the suspect is outstanding, so we have to consider the suspect armed and dangerous. We don't have a description yet, and we do not know, we can't confirm if the suspect fled on foot or in a vehicle at this time.
An extremely large police presence was in the area while the investigation continued. The events leading up to the shooting and the extent of the victim's injuries are still unclear.
680 News time, 2:04. Provincial police say a 14-year-old boy died in a snowmobile crash in Kearney, Ontario on Sunday. Police say the boy was driving the motorized snow vehicle when he left the trail and struck a tree. He was pronounced dead shortly afterwards. He's been identified as Mark Ramola of Springwater Township in Ontario. Police say they're continuing their investigation into the crash.
Meantime, recovery efforts continue today for a 9-year-old boy who fell through the ice of Lake Erie on Saturday night. Melissa Nicopoli of City News has the details from OPP.
Provincial police say 2 boys, an 8-year-old and a 9-year-old, were on the ice edge when a wave swept them into the water near Peacock Point on Lake Erie. A 10-year-old girl with the boys ran to get help. She flagged down a vehicle, and a man and woman were able to rescue the 8-year-old. But police say the 9-year-old did not resurface. OPP search and rescue crews searched for the missing boy last night. Family friends say they've spoken to the boy's sister and the family about the shocking incident.
She was pretty shaken up. All she wants to do is to find her brother. She wants to see her brother. They're very close. So it's going to be tough. It's really tough on that family. And I feel really bad. I just, my heart breaks. You know, my 4-year-old granddaughter goes to school with them and plays with them, and she doesn't comprehend either. So those kids are really going to have a hard way back to normal.
OPP search and rescue crews could not search the water Sunday due to dangerous conditions. For now, the OPP are using a helicopter to search the area and will resume later this morning.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. The Prime Minister is calling off a planned trip to the Caribbean this week. His office announced that the cancellation's less than 24 hours just before Justin Trudeau was scheduled to fly to Barbados, where he was expected to sell Canada's bid to get a seat on the United Nations Security Council. Back home, the PM has been facing harsh criticisms in the wake of anti-pipeline protests that have disrupted rail service. He's been accused of running around Africa and Europe as protesters opposed to the Coastal GasLink pipeline project blockade rail lines in BC, Ontario, and other parts of the country.
Meantime, anti-pipeline blockades along major Canadian railways have pushed 2 national organizations to warn of a potential supply shortage. Both the Retail Council of Canada and the Canadian Propane Association are predicting a shortage of goods throughout the country as a direct result of the closures. The president of the National Propane Association says they're already rationing in Atlantic Canada.
6 City News time, 2:06. Global Affairs is citing the extraordinary circumstances on board as it moves to evacuate Canadians from a quarantine cruise ship docked in Japan. Ottawa has chartered a plane to bring home many of the 255 Canadians on the Diamond Princess. The timing of the flight has yet to be announced. So far, 355 people have been affected with COVID-19, including 15 from Canada. Passengers will be screened before boarding, though, and those with symptoms will be transferred to the Japanese healthcare system. Those who make it onto the aircraft will be assessed at CFB Trenton, Ontario, before they are taken to the NAV Canada Training Institution in Cornwall, Ontario, for another 14-day quarantine.
Why would you bring them there?
And finally, some relief for a British Columbia father after his son was quarantined on the cruise ship near Japan for several days. 680 News' Taranjeet Parmir reports passengers on the ship have been removed, with some awaiting quarantine in the U.S.
Scott Fehrenbacher says his son Spencer has finally been allowed to walk off the Diamond Princess cruise ship following an outbreak of COVID-19 on board. Fehrenbacher says his son has had to pass a temperature screening and will fly to the U.S. to complete the next phase of quarantine. In an online post, he says Spencer was escorted off the ship early this morning and was taken to the airport by the military. He calls the experience overwhelming, adding he's grateful and thankful that his son is okay. Canadians on the same ship will also be evacuated and flown home for more quarantine time, but we're still waiting for more details on that flight. I'm Taranjeet Parmar.
6 City News time, 2:08. Today is Family Day, and if you're planning on spending the day outside, bundle up. It should be a nice sunny day, but temperatures will be a little lower than average for this day of the year. 6 City's weather specialist Malia Sheikh has more on what to expect.
Family Day Monday should be a nice day to spend outside. A daytime high of -3, so a couple of degrees cooler than it should be for this time of year. However, we will have mainly sunny conditions and won't really be dealing with much wind chill. So enjoy being outdoors. Just make sure you're dressed for it.
Don't let that weather deter you from making the most of the Family Day activities. And being Family Day today, there is lots to do in the GTA. Most of the city's tourist attractions are open, including the Zoo, Hockey Hall of Fame, and Casa Loma. Several malls are open across the GTA, including the Promenade, Square One, and Toronto Premium Outlets. As for transit, the TTC is operating on a holiday service schedule, while GO Transit is operating on a Saturday service schedule. Banks and government offices will be closed. For a complete list of what is open and closed, you can go to 680news.com. Coming up, traffic and weather together on the one. 6 City News time, 2:09.
Be in the know.
Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day.
This is 680 News. You're all bundled up.
Yeah, well, it is minus 17,700.
No way that's right.
Says right here. Get 25% off MSRP for up to $17,700 in total discounts on select brand 1,500 classic bottles. Plus, we make no payments for 90 days.
Oh, I see. Minus 17,700.
There you go.
I'll grab my coat.
I can't believe that worked.
It's the Ram 4x4 winter event. See dealer for details.
And a 680 News gas price update, as Info predicted. The price didn't budge at midnight. It's holding at just under $1.13 a liter at most GTA stations. 680 News time, 2:10.
There's always been two ways to invest. You do it yourself, or you hand over your money and your control.
No.
But what if there's a smarter way to invest? BMO Advice Direct keeps you in control while giving you easy-to-follow advice and trade recommendations personalized to your portfolio. And it's the only digital investment product of its kind. Get up to $2,000 when you sign up for Advice Direct today. To learn more, visit BMO Advice Direct online. Conditions apply. Advice Direct is a product of BMO Investor Line.
Christopher Columbus did not believe the Earth is flat. That's a misconception. Another misconception is that Lazy Boy is all recliners. Yes, Lazy Boy has the most comfortable recliners, but also sofas, sectionals, love seats, fashionable Lazy Boy furniture and accessories for your living room, bedroom, and dining room. And designers who will consult in your home for free. Columbus did not believe the Earth is flat, and Lazy Boy is not all recliners. Surprise! It's Lazy Boy.
That's such a strange thing to say, man.
680 News time, 2:11. Time for traffic and weather. Together on the ones, handing things over to Michael Ranger.
Still just looking at the one problem if you're out on the major routes. It's on the southbound 427 in the express, just south of the 401. Stalled tractor trailer there. We've got tow trucks, police on scene. They're blocking the right lane. Now, roads are lightly traveled, so not causing any slowdown right now. You've still got 4 left lanes that are getting by. Some of the cars maybe hitting the brakes a little bit going by there. I'm looking at it on the camera right now, but no delays at all. So again, just a visual distraction, and that's really the only problem we're looking at on the major routes. Other than that, 427 moving fine. Gardner's up to speed in both directions. Reminder, we do have that long-term construction on the Gardner, so the westbound Gardner ramp to Jarvis is closed. DVP northbound, southbound, no problems there. It's up to speed. 401 is in good shape all the way across the city in both directions. Highway 400 northbound and southbound, it's moving fine. QEW 403, 410, all up to speed right now. Again, all your major routes are moving well. Just that one problem, southbound 427, just south of the 401 in the express, right lane blocked with a stalled tractor trailer. Your next traffic report is at 2:21 with the forecast. Here's Malia Sheikh.
A pretty decent family day Monday is in store. Daytime high of -3, a little bit cooler than our seasonal average of -1. It will feel quite a bit cooler though in the morning, so just be mindful of that if you plan on going out for a jog. Mainly sunny conditions and a low of -4. Tuesday, it warms up to +5 as your daytime high, but we are expecting some showers in the AM and a low of -6. Your high for today, -3.
Downtown Toronto right now, it's -1, feeling like -7 under a partly cloudy sky. And over at Pearson Airport, similar conditions there, -3, feeling like -8. Well, York Region Theatre is launching a new program for adults and children with intellectual disabilities. That's Showbiz is a Vaughan-based nonprofit community arts organization founded by Sarah Magny. YorkRegion.com reports it's dedicated to telling stories from perspectives that aren't often seen. The program runs on Sundays and is available for anyone in the GTA. Their studio opens on March 7th near Steeles and Kennedy. Still to come on 6 City News, we'll talk about a viral video of a passenger reclining her seat on a plane and the passenger behind her repeatedly punching her seat. What? 6 City News time, 2:13.
It's the final days of the Hyundai I Love Winter sales event. You're running out of time to get no-charge all-wheel drive on all Kona, Tucson, and Santa Fe models. It's your last chance to make winter easier. Don't pay for 90 days on models like the Elantra. Plus, we're making winter more comfortable with our amazing available heated and safety features. Hurry in. The Hyundai I Love Winter sales event ends March 2nd. Conditions apply. Visit HyundaiCanada.com or your dealer for details.
With Intact Insurance, you can get rewarded for being a good driver. No, really. The better you drive, the more you save. Seriously, you could get up to 30% off your car insurance with My Drive. Can you put your hands on your head? No. Please keep your hands on the wheel. Intact Insurance. The insurance you dream of. If you dream of insurance. Get a quote on intact.ca or talk to your broker. Certain conditions and exclusions apply.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Hey, it's -1 under a partly cloudy sky. Good morning. I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. Here are the top stories this hour. 2 people are in hospital after a shooting near the Promenade Mall. Police say the suspect is believed to be at large and may be armed. The rescue efforts continue for a 3rd day after a 9-year-old boy fell through the ice in Lake Erie. Demonstrations and blockades continue in Ontario in a show of solidarity with the Wet'suwet'en people's fight against the new pipeline in BC. And coming up after sports, we'll hear from Richard Southern, who says a deep space object is sending signals to Earth. 6 City News time, 2:15. Now, 6 City Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Colin Teskey.
After falling behind 2-0 in Buffalo, Igor Korshkov scored his first career NHL goal. Zach Hyman then notched his 18th early in the 3rd to tie things up. But this power play marker from Jack Eichel was the beginning of the end for the Maple Leafs in Buffalo.
Dropping it off near side Olsen. Into the slot, a shot scores! Jack Eichel on the 3rd power play for Buffalo will restore a lead.
Eichel's 33rd started a 3-goal and a minute-and-a-half stretch for the Sabres. They win 5-2. Leafs back at it Tuesday against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Meantime, NBA All-Star Game from Chicago. This one came down to free throws from Chicago native Anthony Davis. He missed the first one, but nailed the second attempt, lifting Team LeBron 157-155 over Team Giannis, and $300,000 going to charity. Tough day for Felix Auger-Aliassime. The 19-year-old tennis star losing in straight sets to Gael Monfils in Rotterdam. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 2:16.
Right now at Tim Hortons, you can get 2 delicious breakfast sandwiches for just $5. That's a win. Kind of like when your neighbor is shoveling his sidewalk and decides to shovel yours too. Enjoy a win at Tim Hortons today and get any 2 freshly prepared breakfast sandwiches made with 100% Canadian eggs for just $5. It's always great value at Tim Hortons. Plus applicable taxes, conditions apply. Cannot be combined with other offers at participating restaurants for a limited time.
Okay, stop. The best appliance deal ever is still on at Goldman's. You'll save up to $500 on all Eco appliances. Yep, that's $500 on top of manufacturer rebates and promotions. Pricing on most Bosch dishwashers are lower than, well, they've ever been. Energy savings rebate by the Government of Canada. Check out Bosch at Goldmans.com.
A fresh fallout over an airline passenger's claim that her reclined seat was repeatedly punched by a man sitting behind her.
Wendy Williams says when she leaned her seat back on an American Airlines flight 2 weeks ago, the man repeatedly punched her seat even as he was being recorded. Williams is now accusing him of assault, and if there's charges, it would be under FBI jurisdiction. So far, the agency's not publicly commenting, and legal experts we spoke to are divided on whether she has a case.
American Airlines maintains comfort and safety for customers are their top priorities. 680 News Time, 2:18. A lullaby for electric car has been created by scientists to mimic the sounds of a combustion engine to help babies fall asleep during a drive. More than half of parents say they take their young children out in the car to help them nod off. They say the soothing combination of motion and sound is what helps the infants drift off, but the sound part isn't available for owners of electric vehicles. To solve the issue, the sound designer created a lullaby which imitates the hum of gas or diesel engines that creates a hypnotic soundscape. NASA has New Horizons spacecraft. It's still revealing new information about mysterious snowman-shaped objects more than a year after encountering it far beyond Pluto. Astronomers say the cosmic body is the most distant object ever explored. It's described as relatively smooth with far fewer craters than expected. The research team says the somewhat flattened spherical forms looks a bit like 2 M&Ms joined together. And more in space, a mysterious deep space object is sending signals to Earth. 680's Richard Southern is putting on his tinfoil hat to look into this one.
It sounds like a sci-fi headline, but it is 100% true. An object from 500 million light years away is transmitting signals that hit Earth exactly every 16 days. Now, the signal is what's called a fast radio burst, a very powerful but short-lasting radio signal. Researchers have detected hundreds of these things, but until now, none have shown any constant tempo. This one, though, sends out 2 radio bursts per hour for 4 days before going silent for 12 days. The cycle then repeats itself. Now, the origin of these fast radio bursts has not been established. Some, though, think it may be a rapidly rotating body like a neutron star. Of course, there's always another possibility. Wondering what's out there. I'm Richard Southern.
Coming up, traffic and weather together on the 680 News Time, 2:20.
Introducing Volkswagen Short but Mighty Sale. Get everything you want, plus up to $1,500 on top of current in-market offers. Get the 2019 Atlas or the 2020 Tiguan to finally impress your in-laws.
Oh, darling, it's lovely.
Plus up to $1,500 bonus cash. Finance from 0% for up to 72 months and get up to $1,500 bonus cash on select 2020 and 2019 models. Only until March 2nd. Visit your Volkswagen dealership for details.
Volkswagen.
At Muskoka Woods, they believe that reflecting on positive experiences helps kids grow in confidence.
So they keep telling us that Trudeau canceled his Caribbean trip. So the headline says exactly that, but there's more, I guess. This is so fucking weird. Trudeau cancels Caribbean trip to deal with pipeline protests. I don't understand exactly what he's up to. There's a picture of him in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. I guess that's last week. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has canceled his planned trip to the Caribbean this week amid criticism over his government's handling of a series of anti-pipeline protests that have disrupted rail service in parts of Canada. Yeah, everywhere except like 2 lines or something, right? The Prime Minister's office announced the cancellation Sunday evening, the night before Trudeau was scheduled to fly to Barbados, where he was expected to pitch Caribbean leaders on why Canada should get a seat on the United Nations Security Council.